What's going on, everyone? Josh here again. Had an overwhelming response in the video comments and DMs, face-to-face, texts, whatever, about these atonement videos, and I'm excited about that. It kind of helped me to just flush out some old shit and share some stuff with you guys and be able to have some dialogues. I don't post these videos because I'm some great guru with all the answers. I'm just trying to stumble through life just like everybody else, man, and perhaps I know a few things that might help some people. And also, though, maybe these conversations start conversations and open up doors that help me along my path, and help me find the answers I'm looking for as well. So I appreciate all the feedback. Please keep it coming. I'm here to help any way I can, and you guys are helping me a ton. So thank you, first and foremost. Last video was a little long, so I'm going to try and shorten these up also. Keep them around 10 minutes. So I put some thought into a couple more. And the first one, well, not the first one, but the next one, next topic I want to talk about is dogma. We've all experienced it all throughout our lives. So our first topic, well, the next topic, is dogma. And if you're like me, kind of know what words mean. I'm not highly educated, so I gotta look stuff up. And to explain it to you guys the simplest, I had to look this one up. And dogma is a belief or a set of beliefs that is accepted by the members of a group without being questioned or doubted. So basically, that is, you are who you are, you're living your life, you make a choice or series of choices or behaviors, and someone else imposes their will, not their will, can be though, but imposes their thought process on you and tells you how you should behave, how you should act. Now, that's not to say that there aren't some things that we should abide by. We got to have some basic rules and boundaries. Respect. Even if you don't respect someone, you should treat them respectfully. Maybe for yourself more than them at times. 10 Commandments, for instance. Pretty good book. Pretty good set of rules for everybody to live by. Excuse me. Stuff like that. So, but what also can happen is, in a dogmatic situation, is somebody can say something to you about who you are, who they think you are, or something that you're doing in your life that may not necessarily be the best thing for you or people around you, and label you a certain way. And that can inspire or guide or direct you to change your behavior, or sometimes out of stubbornness or ignorance in how to change, you continue, and sometimes, in some of the examples I'm getting ready to give you, you amplify it. For instance, one of the ones that stick out the most dramatically for me was, I was a little hellion, there's no doubt. And some of the other videos will go into detail on all this stuff, but I ended up in jail at 12 years old, juvenile detention center. And I had by that time I had a pretty lengthy record I just hadn't been to I hadn't been to jail yet, even if it was juvenile. So the judge, reading through all the incidents, all the police reports, all the incident reports, etc., that led me to my school records, leading me up to my first visit at a state-funded facility, told me that there was no hope for me, and that I was well on my way to being a career criminal. And I just remember thinking, fuck you, motherfucker, I'll show you what a career criminal is. And obviously I'd been making mistakes and done some shit to end up there, and I deserved it. But to tell a kid that, who clearly was in trouble at the time and needed help, it's not the guidance one should be given. And at 12 years old, I wasn't emotionally stable enough or mature enough to understand, hey, this dude's opinion of me doesn't have to define me. Instead of saying, hey, I'll show him and changing the course of my life, I was like, all right. I felt like we were at 3 or 4, but let's turn this bitch up to 10, and I'll show you something. I'll prove you right. You underestimated me, and that's where I was at that time. I didn't know any better. Hell, I didn't know that I didn't know any better. I just knew that this dude said something that I didn't like, regardless of his intentions. Definitely isn't something you should tell a kid in that situation, and that I was going to show him. And I proceeded to do so. I did a lot of shit thereafter. It was also, in my neighborhood, that was a badge of honor. Like, once I got back out onto the streets, I was like, hey man, they said I was going to be a career criminal. And then Dogma, again, all the people in my community that I hung around with, was like, hell yeah, that's cool. So I let their beliefs shape me and my destiny and my path, and I bought it. Can't say that I wish I hadn't, or I regret, or whatever, because all paths led me here. But so I don't know, man. Do I wish life could have been easier growing up? Yes. Do I wish someone would have said other things to me to help guide and steer me in different directions? Yes. And there probably was plenty of people who did, and was I ready to receive those messages? Not entirely. But now, as an adult, I still deal with that. You probably do too. Someone tells you you're whatever, you're lazy, or you're unfocused, or whatever, and then you just continue along that path because what's the sense of even trying? Or you tell somebody a goal that you have and they tell you you will never achieve it because you did this in the past. Listen, I only mean this in terms of changing your life for the positive, because for the other way, going the other direction's not going to do you any good. Fuck those motherfuckers. Plain and simple. Fuck them. Fuck their thoughts. If they're not saying supportive, building shit to you, if they're not telling you, hey man, I hear your goals, and I support you. What's your plan? What's your game plan? Oh, that's your game plan? You know what? Maybe this might help you work better, or maybe this is something to consider. If they're not helping you, if they're not building you, their opinions don't matter. If they're not trying to help you shape your life and manifest your destiny into a positive, happy, healthy place, and create the success you want, fuck them. Sometimes you're being an absolute fuck up and a dumbass. This guy knows all about that. So sometimes you need that feedback of, hey man, you're fucking up. This is what you're doing. You need to stop. That's a different story. You know, someone who's reaching out to you and telling you, hey man, you're doing drugs and that's bad and it's ruining your life. You need to stop. That's not dogma. That's somebody who loves you, giving you good advice. And hopefully they're delivering it in a positive way and not, you know, hey, you're a dumb fucking junkie, you need to quit doing drugs, because that's not going to help anybody either. And, you know, hey, listen, I'm not Tony Robbins or any of these other guys, and I really don't have a crafty or romantic way of wording things. I just am who I am. I've learned the shit I've learned. I've beat my head against the wall. I've taken advice from great people. And I've taken advice from great people who gave me the wrong advice, or like I said, you know, told me something about me in a way that I didn't understand how to respond to it. So maybe they don't know how to communicate, but you need to learn how to interpret. Let me rephrase that. I can't tell you what to do. I needed to learn how to interpret things. Not everybody's a great communicator. Not everybody's a wordsmith. So are they being dogmatic? And are they trying to impose things on you or change your beliefs about yourself? Or are they giving you feedback and helping you build yourself up? Sometimes when you're getting feedback you don't like, it hurts. But you know what? You can tell, even if you don't like it, that what place it's coming from. Is it coming from a place of love and support? Or is it someone who's just like, you know, I've heard a lot of shit. I heard a lot of shit when I was a kid. Gonna be a career criminal. I ain't shit. I ain't worth shit. I wasn't gonna live past 21. You know, I was gonna either spend the rest of my life in jail or get murdered based on the shit I was doing. And man, I tried to fulfill a lot of those prophecies based on other people's opinions or communicating their dogma. I'm sure most of them meant to help, but it ain't. You know, communicating that way isn't helpful. So I rambled, went back and forth a few times, just really wanted to drive that home of when people got negative shit to say, or they're saying negative shit about you, do not identify yourself that way. Fuck them and fuck that. You know what your goals are. You know what direction you want to head in. Whether you're making it an inch or a mile every day towards those goals, stay in the fight. Don't let people who are ass clowns around you talk down to you or create a negative self-image. You know what you're doing. You know what you need to do. Trust your instincts. Work your ass off and make it happen. Other side of that coin is, if you're being a fuck up and somebody's telling you from a loving place, hey man, you're being a fuck up. Here's what you're doing wrong. I'd like to see you change that. I think it'll help your life out. It's a whole different story. Don't be afraid. You can do it. I've done it. I've changed a lot over the last couple years. And hey, listen, if someone who's been told by police, by judges, and by entire communities that you ain't shit, that you're just destined for nothing good, you're going to spend the rest of your life behind bars, you're going to end up shot dead, etc., can turn their raggedy ass life around and be a productive, happy member of society, you can too. Life's not always fair, but we got to do the best we can to get through it. Went a little longer than 10 minutes on this one. Sorry, but this is one that is really near and dear to me, man, because because it created, I allowed it to create. But again, also as a kid, and you got to protect the kids as an adult with the way you talk to them and treat them. I allowed other people's opinions to shape my destiny. Fuck them and fuck that. If they're not on your side, if they're not riding for you, their opinion don't mean shit. Get out there and kill it. Hope this helped you. You guys keep telling me that they're helping. I'll keep making them. They won't be great. I'm just some hillbilly sharing shit, but it is what it is, man. Love and appreciate all of you. Thanks. Talk to you soon.